Get ready to stitch a scrap-friendly classic with a quirky twist. This log cabin block is anything but traditional. Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jackie and I love using scrap fabric to make quilt blocks and other projects in a quilt as you go fashion. In this episode, we're making block number 9 in our Quirky Quilt Series, the much loved Log Cabin Quilt Block. It's simple, quick, and fun with pinked edges and no fussy piecing. Let's get started. Here are the materials you'll need for the Quirky Quilt Series. For each block, you'll need scrap fabric, 1 piece of batting or flannel that measures 10 inches by 10 inches, 1 piece of your backing fabric. I'm simply using a muslin that is 10 inches by 10 inches. 1 piece of Pellon P44F lightweight interfacing that measures 10 inches by 10 inches. This is optional. You could sew your block pieces directly onto the batting if you would like. I'm using the interfacing as my canvas so that I can lay out the pieces easily. Various pieces of 2-inch wide scrap fabric pieces. To join the quilt, they will be 10 inches by 2 inches, and we'll need some longer pieces for joining the rows. A rotary cutter with a pinking blade or pinking shears, or if you're cutting a raw edge piece for your block, you could use your straight scissors. And I do have some Elmer's washable school glue to baste my backing fabric to my batting. Pins or clips, invisible thread for the top thread, and black thread in your bobbin if you're doing the hand look stitch, which is number 27 on my Brother PS 500. You could also use a light gray thread for the top thread and black thread in the bottom. And I do have a free pattern for you so that you can follow along. The link to the pattern will be in the description box below. The first thing we need to do is create a quilt sandwich. We're going to place our batting centered on our backing fabric, and I'm using a 10 by 10 piece of batting and a 10 inch by 10 inch piece of muslin. Next, what we want to do is place our Pellon down and build our quilt block. And I showed you this in a few other videos, but I just made a template so that I could easily slide this on to the batting and backing when I'm ready. I do have a pattern for you, and it will be linked in the description box below. And for this log cabin, I'm trying to keep all the light pieces in the upper right-hand corner and the darker pieces in the lower right-hand corner. I have pre-cut my pieces. You'll need 4 of the A, 4 of the B, 4 of the C, 4 of the D, 4 of the E, and 1 for the center, and that is the F piece. This is going to be so easy but so pretty. So let's get started laying out our pieces. And what I want to do is take my center piece, fold it in half, fold it in half again, just like that, just so I can get the center mark. And then I'm going to go center on here and just lay it there because I will be picking it up, because I want the pink to show up in the center here. But that's just to be a guide. And let's make sure we're in the center here. Maybe a little more. There we go. Whatever you have to do to get it in the center. And then we're simply going to arrange the pinked edge pieces onto the interfacing. And here is F in the center. So I'm going to go kind of in a circle and fill in that way. So here is F. I'm going to go down here to E, which is a dark piece. So I need a darker piece for that. And we're going to overlap about 1/4 of an inch. So we'll lay that there. I just grabbed my handy dandy tweezers because I know we'll need those. So that was the E. I'm going to pick another E from the dark pile. And this really isn't that dark, but it does have a pattern. So we're going to use that. And again, I'm going to overlap right there, about 1/4 of an inch. Just like that. And then I need an E light and an E light. So I'll take this light piece, and this comes over here, and again overlapping about 1/4 of an inch. We may need to adjust. And then my second E light piece. And then we'll put that right there. Now I'm going to attempt, and it looks like this. I'm going to attempt to get that out of the center so that I can see the pinked edges of our center. And I pretty much did it without damaging too much that I laid out. There we go. And then I want to put that back in the center. And again, the reason I did that is so that I could have those pretty pinked edges on the outside. Now we can continue building the rest of this. And it looks like this. We have our E's, and if you want, you could mark off that you have the E done. Next, we want the D's, and I see I'm off a little bit here, so I'll move that over, pick this up, and it's just a little bit of adjusting as you go along. There you go. So now we want to pick up our D's, and we'll pick up the dark D's first. And this D is going to go, because here is a light E. Yes, this will go right here. And then I need another dark D. That will go right here. And then my 2 light D's. And then those will go right here. See, I made a mistake. You probably saw that, right? But you couldn't tell me. Okay. There we go. Here's what it's looking like so far. And then I might need to bring this over a little more right there. And this is our last D light. So this will go right there. So far we're doing pretty good. And now we want to, and then if you want it again, you could mark off the D pieces, yep, all the D pieces. Next, we have to grab our C pieces. So we're going to grab the, oops, I forgot to mark that D off. So C on the bottom, we need a dark piece. And that's going to go like this, I think. All right, and then on the side, like that, right? C. And then we need the C light. Like that. And then one more C light. Kind of like that. Now let me see. Looks like I could adjust this one just a tad over. I think I still have enough to sew on. Yes, I do. There's that. And then we need the B's, the dark B's. And those are these ones. And then we start at the bottom. And we're going to go like this. Let me make sure. I think we want it like this. And then this one is the dark B. We may need to adjust. It looks like I'm a little off here. And I see why. So let's pick this one back up. I have to follow the pattern, right? There we go. Like that. I think this one has to come out a little. And then this one, that is the dark B. Then we need the light B. And that one will come like this. Just like that. And one more light B. Just like that. Let me see if I can pull this over a little. There we go. And then we have our A strips. Then we need a dark A at the bottom. Like that. And I'll try to pull this over a little. And up. Okay. Just like that. And then the other one goes here. And then we need the 2 light A's. That will come right here. And then this light A is right there. And that is it. And it is very quirky, which is what we want. And it's so easy. You just cut out the pieces of fabric. I think these are all 1 inch and then whatever size the square is. So easy peasy. Then what we want to do is bring over our batting and our backing. The batting is up. We're going to slide that right on there. And then this would be the time to change anything you wanted. Like if you wanted this pink to be up, you could do that. You could just go and pull this up and have that pinked edge up. Whatever you wanted to do, just make it yours. You could take this one. Like that. You just want to make sure you have enough fabric to sew onto, because we have to stitch all the pinked edges. And there's that. I think I'll hide this underneath up here. Same way with this one. Most of this is going to get caught in the seam allowance anyway. And then pull this down. And then I think I'll pull this one out. And this one ought to come over. Okay. And then I kind of like that. And then we'll move that over. That is really quirky. What do you think? Are we ready to press? I think I will move this one underneath. See, I just can't leave well enough alone. And I think I want to move this pellon down, if I can. There we go. Yeah, I think that is good. I've messed with it enough. We are ready to press. And just take one more look. Make sure you have enough to sew right on those edges so it'll catch. Make sure you have steam in your iron. All right, let's press. This is truly quirky. It will be fun to stitch. I do love this one. Now I do have my sewing machine back that has the hand look stitch, so I will be doing that. So I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and do that. And when I come back, I'll show you our masterpiece. Oh my goodness, here it is in all of its quirkiness. What do you think? Here's our lights and here's our darks. Now you know what time it is. Time to join them. I have a connector here. We need to connect this one to our friendship star. So I think I'll put that here and then that there. All we do is put some dots of glue in here. Not too much, don't get crazy like I do. Just like that. And tuck that in there. And then it'll go like that. We'll put some dots of glue on our quilt block. Just like that. And tuck that over to catch all of that. Same thing on the other side. Open that up. Dots of glue. Bring this one in, our new log cabin, our new quirky log cabin. Make sure those line up. Give those some dots of glue. And I got a little right there, I got a little crazy. Fold that one over. We are going to press that. Then I'll flip it over. Looks really nice on the back. I'm not sure if I'm even up here. Can always adjust it. There we go. So I have to press it again. Yep, that looks good. And then here's the back of the log cabin. And I did use invisible thread on the front to get that hand stitched look. And I didn't have any problems with my invisible thread. But look how clean this is versus this. And then the back. See how uneven I am on the back there? But here, nice and clean. So now all I need to do is go to the sewing machine. I'm going to stitch even less than 1/8 of an inch. I just want to catch that edge on both sides. And then making sure that I catch the back as well. I'll go do that and I'll be right back. All right, here's what it looks like with the edges sewn. And I caught the back, which is awesome. Just have some trimming up to do here with my threads. That was block number 9. So let me show you what we have so far? I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below with suggestions for traditional quilt blocks you'd like to see recreated in our quirky style. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a Bible verse and a final thought to encourage you. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart, all ye that hope in the Lord. Psalm 31, verse 24. Sometimes life feels messy, just like our scrap fabric projects, but each stitch and scrap has purpose and beauty. Trust in the Lord's strength and courage to weave your story into something uniquely beautiful. Thank you so much for watching, commenting, sharing. It truly means the world to me. And until the next video, God bless you.